bright white spot in my eyebrow.
Hello, YouTubers. Joe and Paul here on April 2nd, Wednesday at 17:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time. Now Paul got home here about an hour and a half ago, and
4:01.
yeah, well, an hour and a half ago, and I had done some estimated tax stuff in the morning and written some various checks and stuff, and long about 10:30 in the morning, I decided I'd start catching up on all these YouTube videos I had missed after I had written a couple of extensive emails to various people. And oh, I bet you guys enjoyed that sound, didn't you? And you touch this thing, you know, when you're talking to it, it sounds like a tank's run over top of it, doesn't it? Well,
I remember that sheet of paper you made one day.
Well, there. See, yeah. So basically, touching the sheet.
It sounded like a thunderstorm ripped through the house.
Well, that's a very good analogy. I thought that's an excellent analogy. So, I got done doing that, and you know, it's well, no video of Joe and Paul's complete without a bit of a weather report. We had rain today in the morning, and then a little bit off and on, and then it's been sort of in the low 40s to high 40s here most of the day. And I'll tell you a little tale about myself. I got up after Paul went to work here. I stirred myself out of the chemo chair at 7:30, and now I'd been awake since about 2:30.
You were working on this thing when I left.
Well, I was reading the online newspapers. I was reading the Telegraph and what the Wall Street Journal let you read, and the Daily Mail.
Morning routine.
Well, yeah, you gotta, I mean, it's always fun to read the bizarre corners of the human envelope from the Daily Mail, and I mean, they got great pictures. They really did.
They have some really weird stories too.
Oh yeah, well, and occasionally they have some legitimate stuff. I mean, Max Hastings writes for them. So he's going a little off the wall bonkers nowadays, but he's one of these historians that likes to take a counter, sort of revisionist, provocative view. You might not agree with what he says, although I tell you, his early stuff, I basically agreed with a lot of what he said, but he's Max Hastings. He's an interesting writer. He's knighted now, so he can get away with pretty much anything. It's like these guys that get the Nobel Prize and get to be insane after that.
Oh, so if you get knighted by the Queen, you're allowed to get nuts.
Well, Max Hastings isn't nuts. He doesn't feel the need to, toe the party line anymore. He feels free. He's been liberated.
Have a freedom of speech, even though they don't allow it.
Well, that's true. They don't. I mean, our country is the only country that allows freedom of speech, true freedom of speech. Britain says they do, but they don't. Most countries in Europe don't either. No, they don't.
You sort of have to file like a permission.
Well, you have to
get permission.
You have to have the right attitude. The attitude police are on you.
Now, if you want to have some kind of a demonstration or something, you have to fill out
the permit stuff. Well, you have to have permits here.
So
you do here in this country too.
Yeah. But to be allowed to say what you want to say and try and get across.
Well, yeah, but
your complaint is.
You have to do permits
Unlike
here, too.
here, no.
Yes, you
get permits to do the demonstration.
More like to block traffic. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can yell anything you
feel like. Well, within as long as it's not verging on obscene and provoking people to violence. Although there's always a fine line there, isn't it? One man's provocation to violence is another man's solace of having his attitude vindicated and confirmed. So.
Yeah, like too many French words.
Yeah, I know very few French words, fortunately.
Yeah, well, my father always called one word a French word and never used it in presence of a lady.
No.
But of course. Dealing with the bird.
What is the French word for bird?
Fuck you.
Oh, no, that's an English word. That's an English word for, how to...
Never use the F word in the presence of a lady.
Faux, as in false. F-E-A-U-X. Faux is one of my favorite words. As in faux pas. That's false pass.
Well, for example, if a woman says something, you should not turn around and say, "Are you effing kidding me?" That is totally improper.
I think if you really respect that woman as an individual, then if you really think that she is needs to be called out on something or called out something, and the truly respectful thing to her as an individual, is to treat her like you treat anybody else.
Yeah, well, according to my father, you should always say, "You've got to be kidding me."
Well, you can say that as well. I mean, that's a better way to say it. I mean, it's a more courteous way to say it.
Right. That's why he
said having seen your dad say that a couple of times, the great thing about that was, in addition to the saying of that, which was courteous enough, was the facial expression that went with it, which was something somewhere along the line of
total shock.
Yeah, well, that pretty much conveyed his underlying attitude and thoughts on the matter. Your dad might have been somewhat inarticulate, but he certainly always got his point across.
Oh yeah.
Where were we? Well, trying to briefly move through the day, said he briefly, using that phrase ironically. Having pretty much, not wishing to rewatch a lot of stuff on YouTube until this one guy uploads some things I really want to see in an orderly fashion.
I could run to the can.
Well, you go right to the king, and I will keep talking. I said, well, let's just call my ex-wife. Well, she said, I said, well, let's get on the computer and do FaceTime. And she says, I would, but my machine won't work. I said, well, then you have to get specifics. Well, and I'll tell you, she was giving me specifics about what was happening and so forth. And I was able to talk her through the sort of the standard, unplug the router, unplug the modem thing, and then wait, and then plug them back in reverse sequence. And then try to turn it back on, and then that didn't work. So then I said to myself, aha! Her SMC, or central, or CPU, or SMC, central management controller, or whatever, system management controllers crashed. And so I said, now, I'll talk you through that. Oh, it's just too complicated. I can't do it. Well, I said, oh, just a minute. It's not that hard. So she had to go to the can then. And then when she came back, I had already looked it up on the internet and checked out the stuff I had already printed off. I said, in her case, see, she's got a desktop iMac. I've got the laptop. I have to do a lot of keystroke things for mine. I've had to do that 5 times in the year, year and a half I've had mine. I had to do that with Paul's here about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And anyway, so I said, all you got to do is unplug it. Just unplug it from the power outlet. And, no, I don't know. It's too much. I can't do it. I said, follow the cord coming out of the back of the computer to the power strip and just pull it out of the power strip.
Or flip the button on
well, no. You don't do that. You don't want to flip that button. No, you want to pull the thing out. And, I was going to try to tell her how to unplug it out of the back of the machine, but I thought, no, just have her, because I didn't know whether she had her power strip down on the floor or not. Now, when I set the thing up, I didn't put it on the floor, but for all I knew, she had thrown this thing down on the floor. Nope. So she did that, and by golly, she comes back, she says, I did that. She says, now what do I do? I said, now turn it back on. She goes away again. See, she didn't have a walk-around phone. I mean, she says she does, but she doesn't. So I have to,
This is the walk-around phone.
Yeah, that's what I have. That's a walk-around phone, but she doesn't have one of these. See, she needs to get one of these things. Thanks, Paul. So she comes back, and I said, well, just turn it on. And she did, and there was this long wait. I thought, then she immediately comes back up on the corner of the screen as a FaceTime call. So clearly it worked. All this stuff had worked. Well, internally I was rejoicing. Rejoice. And now I could hear her fine. But she claimed not to hear me. Now it's very interesting. She when she would talk in her normal voice, I could hear her fine. But when I would try to talk to her on the computer, she would say, and I would say, talk to me. And she would say, I can't. And I would say, talk to me. So then I got writing her, letters on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper that I'd used, to do my taxes, the back part of when I, used to do my taxes. In big block caps and holding them up against the screen. So then she got on the horn again, and we, I tried to talk her through, being sure that her actual volume setting and system preferences was set up to full. I knew she knew how to adjust the volume on her actual machine when she's just using it, and I had actually gotten her to set her microphone up in system preferences, but I'm not so sure when I got her to go to system preferences to try to set her volume up that she actually set the volume up in system preferences. I think she sort of reconfirmed her input. It's hard to tell, because
She needs to get a phone jack put into the office so she can get it.
No, she needs that. She needs to get a walk-around phone, and so. But it's always interesting in that the minute she understood by reading my lips, even though she claimed she could not read my, the minute she understood by reading my lips that I said, well, you're just going to have to use headphones now. She immediately shut me off. That's it. End of case. End of discussion. But see, it's interesting. I noticed, I got thinking about this afterwards, and I got thinking, well, how, what happened here? Well, excuse me. After the new Mavericks variants came in, I noticed that my volume in general, from websites I watch, like on YouTube, or when I talk to Faith, or anybody else on FaceTime for that matter, the volume is much, much, much lower than it was under the older Mountain Lion system. And I basically now have to use headphones the whole time. Every time, if I want to listen to anything serious, I have to use headphones. Notice, for example, if Paul and I want to watch like a video that we want to watch together, we can't really, because I can't hear it. Now, I don't know whether you can hear it or not, but I know I can't hear it. So if I really want to hear it, I have to watch it again with the headphones on. And by the way, Apple, that's something you might want to look at. And I think that's what's happening with her. I think if they somehow decided to install the new operating system on her machine without her knowledge, well, I don't know if they do that or not. Hell, I don't know. But clearly she can hear me if she got her head right up against it. Much as I can hear things if I get my head right up against my machine. But if I use headphones, I have no problem. I told her she'd have to use headphones, and she didn't like that. So.
Oh, you're making echo.
Well, no. Actually, no. There were no echoes today. There were no echoes today at all. Of course, it's always my fault. She sent me an email afterwards. It's like, oh, well, it's your fault. Why, of course it's my fault. Why, of course it's my fault. You gotta love it, don't you? Well, if you don't love it, you're going to be very miserable, aren't you? Anything else, Paul? Do you want to discuss any of these stories from the hotel? Oh, here. Allow me to tell it, because that way Paul is not implicated. It seems that there's a fellow that works at the hotel who is related to a manager at the hotel.
Super.
Well, no, we're trying to insulate you. This is called arm's length. See the arm? That's called arm's length. And it seems that there were some tasks that had been unfulfilled in a timely manner. And one of the higher managers came in. And
the new assistant manager.
Well, yes, the new assistant, which isn't all that new in the assistant manager. He was there before, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was my boss.
Right. Well, so So it, a fellow that had been there before when Paul was first there, who left, and I was back. Saw this problem and decided to look into it further, and it seems that this fella who was supposed to be doing some things that hadn't been done, such that was how
laundry and cleaning around.
Yeah, this whole quandary got started. Was it seems he was found fast asleep in the lobby, and I guess he was also videoed or photographed.
Yeah,
he was videoed. So
they photographed.
Now it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out in terms of his continued employment at this place, given that his relative is also a part of management. But when Paul told me this story, I said to myself, the Lord has delivered him into mine hands.
Had I been Mark, his ass would have been out front.
Well, yes, but I'm sure there's all sorts of employment policies, and of course, you have these various, how should we say, quota-driven imperatives that might be involved.
No, you can throw them out.
Well, we don't need to really, I think, but it's one of those deals where you have, it's so rare to get documentary evidence of somebody being a lowlife. We all know there's lowlifes. Lowlifes abound. But to actually get documentary evidence, it's great.
The guy was sleeping on the sofa in the living room.
Was he drooling out the side of his mouth?
I don't know.
Eddie.
Mark caught him sleeping on...
We can't really...
He was caught sleeping on the sofa in the living room in front of the freaking fireplace. With, there where we had the big screen TV over the fireplace.
Maybe they could make like an ad, Even our employees like our lounge. Get that advertising agency on it immediately.
I had one person that was staying in the inn. She thought her bed was uncomfortable.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
And she was always used to just sleeping on the couch in front of the TV and watching it and going to sleep.
Sounds fun to me.
Well, that's what she decided to do.
Good.
Well,
autonomy.
It shocked the big manager when she walked in and there was somebody asleep on the couch with the bed pillow and comforter from the room. She wanted to know if there was a problem, and the woman said, no, I just always sleep on couch at home. She said, because I like watching TV and listening to it while I sleep.
Better shine a woods light on that comforter. You wrap it around.
She brought the duvet and her bed pillows down.
And a woods light, I hope.
And she made up the couch and she went to bed. So when you walked in, somebody had made a campsite in the living room.
Well, try to avoid the purple glow, guys. Try to avoid the purple glow, That indicates some stuff. Okay, I think on that one, We've waxed long and large. So bye-bye, YouTubers.
Weirdness is not over yet because we're still on spring break crap.
Oh, the stuff at the hotel.
And all the freaking graduation stuff coming up and changing the...
I'm still used to the quarter system. I'll never get used to that.
Yeah, I know, but, you know, spring quarter and...
Well, no, it's a semester now. I mean,
starting.
there aren't any quarter system. They're going to be sorry about it. They're going to go back to the quarter system at some point. All righty now, guys. Bye-bye, YouTubers.